Welcome into This is Baseball. My name is Brandon Johnson. Thank you for tuning in today. First order of business is a big congratulations to the 2025 MLB Hall of Fame class. Ichiro Suzuki, Sabathia, both first ballot Hall of Famers. And Billy Wagner, Hall of Famer, who got in on his 10th and final year on the Hall of Fame ballot. Just going through some of the career stats and accolades of these three Hall of Famers. Sabathia, Cy Young winner, 2009 World Series champion, ALCS MVP, 6-time MLB All-Star. He had 251 career wins. That is best for 46th all-time in wins, 251 wins. And looking at just active players today that are kind of in that realm, as far as career wins are concerned, Justin Verlander has 263 wins and counting in what is likely his final season. Max Scherzer, Clayton Kershaw. Max Scherzer has 217 wins. Clayton Kershaw has 216 wins. They actually both have spent about the exact same amount of time in the league, so that's cool. But those are kind of the next closest players. I would put all three of those guys as first ballot Hall of Famers as well. I think what's interesting is I don't think that we're ever going to see a 300-game winner again, because Clayton Kershaw, Max Scherzer, both of them, along with Justin Verlander, are likely in their final seasons. The next closest in wins as far as active players is Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole has 153 wins, so he's also 34 years old. And then it just goes down from there. Charlie Morton, Chris Sale. Charlie Morton's 41, Chris Sale's 36, Sonny Gray, Carlos Carrasco, Zach Wheeler, Yu Darvish, and yeah, so on. So that's pretty cool for Sabathia. 250 career wins. Congratulations to him. Ichiro Suzuki, almost unanimous first ballot Hall of Famer. He missed out on one vote. I still don't understand how you have a vote for the Hall of Fame and you look at Ichiro and say, you know what? I don't think so. Real quick, Ichiro's career on Baseball Reference: MVP, Rookie of the Year, 10-time All-Star, 10-time Gold Glove winner, 3-time Silver Slugger, 2-time batting champ, and All-Star MVP. Career batting average of .311. Had over 3,000 hits, and just one of the best players to ever do it. So congratulations to him. And then finally, Billy Wagner from Houston Astros, a player that on his final year on the ballot, like we said, his percentage for getting into the Hall of Fame just kept going up, and it just looked like, okay, this is going to be the year that he finally gets in, and he did. Career 2.31 ERA, 422 saves. And those 422 career saves put him as 8th all-time in saves, which I don't really understand why it took them so long to get Billy Wagner into the Hall of Fame when you have Mariano Rivera, who's obviously the all-time saves leader, 652 saves, unanimous Hall of Famer. Trevor Hoffman, 601 saves. He's in. Lee Smith, 478 saves. And then nobody in between there. Obviously, Kenley Jansen's 4th all-time in saves. He's still active. Craig Kimbrell, still active as well. He's 5th all-time. K-Rod hasn't been out long enough. But I'm shocked that it took them this long to get Billy Wagner in. So I am curious for Kenley Jansen and Craig Kimbrell. Like, is it going to take them a while because they're 200 saves off of Mariano Rivera? Both of them, both Kenley Jansen and Craig Kimbrell, great closers, obviously. Both of them a little bit of journeyman careers in the back half, but yeah, they're great. So I'm hoping that players like Jansen and Kimbrell don't have to wait the entirety of their eligibility to get in. But congratulations to Billy Wagner, CC Sabathia, Ichiro Suzuki on your Hall of Fame induction. So let's talk a little bit of Royals baseball. Some stuff happened over the weekend that we need to discuss. So it felt like last week it was a foregone conclusion, at least from the media talking heads, that Seth Lugo was getting dealt to the Chicago Cubs. That was what I think everybody was trying to speak into existence, was Lugo's going to the Cubs. And you look at it, and it makes a little bit of sense. Seth Lugo, again, having a great year with the Royals. You just look at his stats on the surface, 2.95 ERA, 113 innings pitched, a whip of 1.088. And even just dating back to last season, 16-9, 3 ERA, 33 games started, 206 innings pitched. All-Star, he was second in Cy Young voting. He won a Gold Glove. So, great 2024 season, and doing pretty much the same thing in 2025. He has a player option, or he had a player option for 2026. So it made sense at the time. Okay, the Royals, I don't know if they're really in contention. It's really hard to know, but with this extra wild card spot, it makes this time of year really interesting. So it made sense that maybe the Royals would want to trade Seth Lugo and try to get maybe an outfielder or something else that could help them maybe now, this season, or next season and seasons beyond. And the Royals said, nope, we're not trading Seth Lugo. In fact, we're going to extend Seth Lugo. So I'll read this just from MLB.com. The Royals are finalizing a multi-year contract extension with right-hander Seth Lugo. Lugo's deal is a 2-year extension worth a guaranteed $46 million that will begin in 2026 with a vesting option, which becomes guaranteed if he reaches a certain performance incentive threshold for 2028. Lugo, who's 35, will make $20 million each in 2026 and 2027, with the vesting option worth another $20 million, or a $17 million club option with a $3 million buyout. Lugo also receives a $3 million signing bonus. If Lugo reaches all incentives and the contract is maxed out, it would be for 3 years and $63 million. That was, again, from MLB.com, which I actually think this is really cool. I was actually one of the people that thought it was inevitable that Seth Lugo was getting traded. It just made sense with where the Royals are at and where Seth Lugo's contract was 24 hours ago, right? But I like this. I think Seth Lugo has been a large reason as to why the Kansas City Royals pitching staff has been one of the top 5 pitching staffs over the last 2 seasons, and it makes sense that the Royals want to keep that in place. So you have Seth Lugo, a healthy Cole Reagans, Michael Wacha just dealing quality starts, and then Noah Cameron, who I think is going to get some votes for Rookie of the Year, and then Chris Bubich having a breakout season as well. So you have 5 really solid starters. So I like it. And I like that Seth Lugo obviously wants to be here. To me, I know that Seth Lugo maybe isn't a premier free agent. He's kind of in the back half of his career, but it's good to see that players want to come to Kansas City and they see a vision and they want to be part of that potential. And I think that's great. Keep the pitching staff intact, and see what you can do. I don't really know what that means for 2025 as far as being competitive. I I don't know if the Royals feel like they have that they'll be able to turn it around. Royals also made another move. They've actually made a couple moves. They brought back Adam Frazier, traded Cam Devaney last week. We talked about that. Devaney is a 29-year-old AAA player. So while he didn't get a chance here, and he's obviously a little old for a guy that hasn't done time in the majors, wish him well in Pittsburgh. Bring back Adam Frazier. Doesn't really move the needle for me. He's not... To me, I think the Royals need help offensively. I don't think Adam Frazier really checks that box. Another trade that was made over the weekend for the Royals was Randall Grichuk, who Royals looked at bringing into Kansas City last offseason, but Grichuk went to Arizona. Royals traded for him. I was looking at this, and again, it is what it is. I'm not necessarily been out of shape that the Royals brought in Randall Grichuk. I don't think that, again, it checks any boxes that the Royals were needing to check as far as having their offense get a little bit of a spark. I was looking at just the outfield in general, and there's only one player in the outfield that gets playing time that has a positive WAR, and that's Kyle Isbell, and Kyle Isbell's WAR is .8. And everybody else's is negative 0.3 or 0.4. This is just, to me, it doesn't really move the needle. It's a nothing move. We've got a little bit of time, obviously, between now and the trade deadline to see what else goes down. But so far, that's kind of the Royals happenings right now, and the Royals are playing pretty good baseball. They took 2 out of 3 against the Cubs last week. They took 2 out of 3 against the Guardians this week. The Detroit Tigers are not playing good baseball right now, so there's a little bit of a gap being filled there in the division. But the Royals host the Braves this week. They got to win that series as well, because then they're headed to a little bit of a tough stretch, 6-game stretch on the road against the Blue Jays, who are the best team in baseball, and the Boston Red Sox, who have been playing great as well. Very interesting time, though, and exciting. Like I said, the Adam Frazier and Randall Grichuk moves don't really move the needle, but I think it's pretty cool to see Seth Lugo get the extension with the Royals. I am curious. Again, we have time between now and the trade deadline to see some potential moves happen. But I do think that we're going to have a lot of conversations in the offseason about the Royals, because I think that there's moves that they didn't make last offseason that they're going to need to look at this offseason. So we'll have to spend some time looking at some free agency and potential moves that the Royals could make over the offseason. So little bit of show news before we get out of here. We are starting in August. We are going to be moving back down to one show a week, one This Is Baseball episode per week, and we're going to move that back to Wednesdays. Wednesdays was kind of the original day and original schedule for This Is Baseball, so we are going to go back to that and get ready for kind of the stretch run of the last 2 months of the Major League Baseball season and really dial in there. So starting next week, that is August 6th, will be the first Wednesday edition of This Is Baseball, and that will be the schedule that we keep moving forward. So get that on your calendars, and I'm excited to get back into that schedule. Thank you for listening to the show today. I will see you in the next one.